Welcome everyone to the Goblins live show. I hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all staying nice and cool with the recent heat wave that we've had here across the UK.
Do you mean the torture?
Yeah, the torture. And in today's show, that's exactly what we are going to discuss. Is there a point where it's too hot to ride? And how safe might that be for you? If you have been riding out there over the last couple of days with the heat. Yeah. Let's see how we get on, shall we? You ready, wifey?
I'm ready.
Let's roll the intro. I've seen here there's a scheduler. We need to scheduler. So start doing that.
With you.
How are we doing, wifey?
Tired.
Yeah, tired.
Yeah, the heat hasn't helped because sleeping's been tough.
Yeah.
I'm obviously trying to keep the dog cool as well, and that's been a mission in itself.
Yeah, I mean it's nice that today has been, well, and yesterday to some extent it was a little bit cooler for us here.
We had a bit of rain.
Only a little bit though.
Yeah.
People were saying it was going to be a thunderstorm, but that never happened.
Wow, I saw this morning that we have thunderstorm warnings for 10.
Pardon the pun. Thunderstorm warmings.
Wow, it's meant to do the opposite, isn't it? 10 o'clock tonight, that's where we're getting it. But one of my friends lives in London, and she said that inner London was something like 40.
Yeah, 40 degrees, yeah.
But luckily she's south side, so when the clouds went over, she was able to cool down. But yeah, it was a bit mad.
Yeah.
A bit mad, so.
Okay. I mean, I'm just monitoring the live stream here and saying that we got no data coming through. So hopefully that's not the case. Have you got it up on there?
I can play it. No, I always pause it.
If you can keep it playing for me, just so you can monitor it. So.
Do you want me to bring it to the end?
Yeah, please. Yeah, bring it live. That's it. Yeah, just make sure that we're still online for you guys. All right. So yeah, it's been really warm in the UK, and
Excuse me.
I don't know about you guys, but I haven't gone out on any rides over the last 5 days.
Yeah.
5 days, I think. I haven't been out.
Which is really unusual for you.
Well, I mean, we've had a busy weekend anyway, so I didn't get a chance to go out anyway. Yeah, we went to our cousins.
Oh, of course.
Cousin's house, didn't we? Yeah, we went to like a housewarming party in Bedford over the weekend. So
that didn't feel like last weekend. That feels like weeks ago now.
Yeah. It took a bit weird. Seems to have gone by really quickly, but yeah. So we had that happening over the weekend, and then the heat wave happened. So I wasn't riding.
It was the sort of heat as well that made you feel a bit sick.
Yeah.
Because you just couldn't cool down.
That's the thing. The UK doesn't seem to have dry heat. It's always like jungle heat.
Mm-hmm.
If you've ever been in a jungle where it's really hot and humid, that's kind of what it feels like in the UK. And it's not the nicest experience in the world, is it?
It's not like getting off a plane somewhere and having that nice dry heat hit you.
Yeah.
It's been nothing like that. It's been horrible.
It's like any moisture on your skin doesn't evaporate.
Oh my god!
You know, it kind of sticks to you instead of doing what it's supposed to do.
So I think I've mentioned this before. I do a lot of training with my work, and it was Monday, I think, and I refused to go on camera because I had to have my hair on top of my head, and I couldn't put any makeup on, so it would just melt, and it was awful to the point that the chocolate in the drawer melted.
Yeah.
And I had to, because I've got a leather chair, faux leather chair or something, isn't it? I had to keep standing up, and I'd get stuck to the chair.
Oh,
so halfway through my training, I was having to stand up and keep myself moving, because otherwise it was just slipping off the chair. It was horrible.
Yeah, and the other night we've got a leather sofa, and the other night I was sticking to it and I was having to peel myself off because obviously you're trying to wear the least amount of clothes possible to try
clothing.
You just stick to the leather. It's so, oh god, it's awful.
So we
I was
haven't
trying to have a
really-
nap on the sofa and I couldn't because it was
Yeah.
just too
to
hot,
to the point
too
that
sticky.
duvets, duvet covers, yes, but that's it. It's been I haven't. I enjoy the heat, but not like that.
Yeah,
That was too much for me.
It's a bit rough. Hi Mark, how you doing, mate? Good to see you. 1-5 guy, good to see you. Fidelity, Greg, good to see you guys. Nice to see you all in the chat as usual. That's absolutely fantastic. Thank you ever so much for joining us today. How have you guys been keeping up in the heat? You've been all right. I hope it has not been too. I don't know what's the word. Too
Intense.
stressful. Too stressful for you.
Well, Mark is currently out on the ZZR,
Oh,
so he's
yeah.
currently. But making
Well, I think
the most of this good weather now, like a
I was
nice
gonna
time to
say
ride.
now that the cloud cover's come over and the temperatures drop by 5-10 degrees, it
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense to
I mean,
start heading out now.
I haven't noticed. I don't know about you, but I haven't noticed that many bikes out.
Today I have.
No, but like when it was really, really warm, I didn't.
Yeah.
But the AA I was reading advised people not to go out because roads were melting and tyres would burst.
Yeah.
So there was that
Yeah.
advice gone as well.
That's really odd. Yeah. It's that's an odd kind of warning to come out because I mean, you get countries where it's hot all year round. I mean,
Yeah.
if you think about driving, I don't know, in Dubai or something, the roads are going to be hot 24/7 basically.
But
so
it's like when it snows here.
yeah.
The whole country
Yeah.
just stops. We don't know what to do with ourselves.
Yeah, get a
We'll-
little bit of snow and
We
that's
can't
it.
queue anymore, but we can complain. So we're still British in that sense.
Yeah.
But we kind of, I think we go into panic mode. Like we don't really understand what to do. So I think everyone goes, right, okay, don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Don't go,
Yeah.
just in case.
Yeah.
I mean, but like we said, for me personally, trying to keep him cool, the dog,
Yeah, the little woggy.
was my main
is.
priority. I mean, my mum and dad have a golden retriever, and she just slept in the study. Because it's just like tiled floor, or she would
Yeah.
sleep in the kitchen.
It's a bit warm for you, bud, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I really feel for the dogs.
Yeah, I mean, he had a bit of a rough time of it, didn't he? Because he was always uncomfortable, and I don't know, just what are you gonna do? You got fur, you can't exactly shave it off, can you?
No.
So I mean, at least we can take our clothes off. This guy, he's got to keep his clothes on 24/7. So
Yeah. That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest issue about bikes in the heat is just you can't wear your gear. Even just, I mean, I don't advise this, but I do it myself. But even if you go out in just like a t-shirt and you wear a helmet, sometimes it gets too hot inside the helmet. And then, I mean, you have to wear a helmet in the UK. Legally, you have to wear a helmet. So you're kind of stuck, aren't you?
Yeah, it's
in
not
that case.
pleasant.
And, you know, against better judgment, everyone's reaction is just to like, you know, start taking off their gear.
It's raining. I'm so happy. It's raining.
It's actually raining
It's
right
actually
now.
raining. Yes. Amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so pleased right now. That's made my week. I don't care about anything else that's happened.
Yeah,
That's made me so happy.
But rain isn't nice to ride on either.
No, I know, but I'm hoping that the storms are going to come and it's going to cool down.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean,
yeah.
this should be like a freak occurrence. I mean, what were the temperatures Monday, Tuesday? It was 35 degrees, or it was
It was
between
30
35 and 40, wasn't it, on Monday?
37 on Monday and then 36 on Tuesday
Yeah, it was a
for us.
little bit
where we
cooler
are.
for us on Tuesday, but it was hotter in more southern parts.
Yeah, and more built up areas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's it.
hopefully it was just a freak occurrence, and it's well. I mean, hopefully it won't come back again this year, at
Yeah.
least.
Well, that was our summer, you realise.
Yeah, those 2 days.
It was
that
intense. It was 6 weeks summer into 2 days.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, that was it. That's it for us. Now we've got rain the rest of the year.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yep, typical. But yeah, so I mean, with the heat, it kind of begs the question, you know, what things can you do to try and cool yourselves down?
Yep.
At which point is it simply just too hot to go out and ride? And yeah, basically how safe it is. That's what I'm gonna try discussing in today's show.
Yeah. So
Yes.
what I'll do first, I think. So I've done a little bit of research, and I've got some things about how you stay cool in the summer, which I thought we could talk about and discuss and actually identify if these are, in a way, money-making schemes, which I think part of it could be.
Well, they're trying to sell you stuff.
Yeah. Or whether it's actually legit, decent advice. I mean, some of it is common sense, and I'm not saying that I'm not at any point saying and this is nonsense. You know, I absolutely do think everyone should stay safe and take things, you know, with considerable care, but you know, take everything as it comes, I guess. So what we'll do is we'll start with some of the things that you need to be aware of if you are going to go out and ride in intense heat. And the first one is, it talks about sweating. So obviously sweating is primarily water, so it's important that you need to drink about a pint every hour during hot, dry conditions. So if you are going to go out for a ride, obviously take water and schedule in stops.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the thing is though, in this heat, I doubt anyone's going to be riding too far.
No, but
maybe up to an hour, but
well, the thing is, you could start the day and it'd be fine. They can get really intensely hot, without realizing how far you've gone or how long you've been out. That's the thing. Even
because over the course of those 2 days, even at like 1 o'clock in the morning and 7 o'clock in the morning, it was already
intense.
Warm, very warm at that point. I mean, that's probably about the only time that you could have actually have gone out. Was really early or really late at night. Do you want to go to mummy? There you go. He actually pushed off me a little bit there. He wanted to jump. So yeah. I mean, the thing is about sweating is it's not just losing fluids. You're losing fluids inside a jacket, or you're losing fluids inside a protective gear.
It does say here, if the sweating uses too much water, your body temperature regulator system goes on the fritz. It's like a dry battery.
Yeah.
No, he's yours again. He's too fidgety.
What's the matter, sweetie? Hey, what's up?
He wants both of us.
What's up?
Okay, so the next thing that it talks about to be aware of is...
Right?
It's a big word. Vasodilation?
Vasodilation.
I got it. I was halfway there.
I think I've heard of that word before.
What it says is to help cool down the core, blood vessels enlarge to circulate more blood and therefore body heat towards the skin. If the ambient air temperature is lower than the body temperature, excess heat can be absorbed by the air. But if the air gets hotter than the skin, the increased blood flow simply soaks up more heat from the air and pumps it back to the core. So you have to be really aware of that. But who's going to think about that on a daily basis? Like, where's...
Thing is, though, is it like how many of these things though are practical?
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing, because you don't want to go too far with a lot of it.
That's it. I mean, the next thing it talks about is heart rate and blood pressure.
See, but your heart rate's already going to be high because you're going to be on a motorcycle, aren't you? So
yeah. It does say if your blood pressure lowers, it reduces muscle control and brain activity. And more blood is pumped towards the skin, and then you're vulnerable to road rash. Yeah,
I think that's probably like the biggest issue when it comes to losing fluids is dehydration. Dehydration is one of those things that you don't even realise is happening, and your mental state kind of is reduced significantly, or your mental capacity for decision making and all that is lowered.
So the next thing is obviously it talks about. So it says the human body doesn't take much of an increase in core temperature without complaining.
Yeah.
Overheating symptoms are leg cramps, tired muscles, headaches, dizziness, and even fainting. Really not ideal if you're riding a motorbike.
I mean, not ideal in any scenario, but
let alone when you're operating a vehicle,
especially riding a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says these symptoms will try and tell you how overcooked you're getting.
Thing is, but core body temperature is it 34 degrees or is it 36 degrees? I think something like
36
that.
36.5 or something. Isn't it?
Is the recommended body temperature. Even if it goes up or down by I think 1 or 2 degrees, you're having serious problems. You're like already at life-threatening levels of temperature. So it's a secret killer, I think.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I think it's meant to say heat cramps, but it says heat cramps.
Heat cramps.
Heat cramps. So muscle cramps are caused by heat, usually affect the legs and lower abdomen first and then the arms. Heat cramps are a symptom that the body's electrolytes are running low, and it's not a smart idea to ignore these. So it's saying take a break in some shade, sip some water or an exercise drink. It then says if you're still in pain, the recommended first aid dose, you know what that is?
Recommended what?
First aid dose.
First aid dose. Dose of what?
So that's it. What if you are still in pain, you're still getting spasms, water and an exercise drink are not helping, do you know what you need to do next?
No.
Apparently, it's half a teaspoon of table salt per half glass of water every 15 minutes. I guess to replenish the salts in your body and stop those cramps.
Yeah.
But if you're out riding, you're not going to have a bottle of water, a spoon, and some salt.
It's not even that though. In this heat that we had, shade isn't going to help you.
No, it was just as hot in the shade as it was.
I mean, it was just as hot inside a house as it was outdoors. So being in the shade, I mean, unless you can find yourself at some kind of higher altitude, I suppose, where I suppose the air is going to be a little bit cooler. I don't think that's going to help all that much.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. And this is recommended advice for riders.
Yeah, this is all about motorbike.
Interesting. Okay. I'm a little bit skeptical of some of these, I think.
But what do you think about the half teaspoon or tablespoon? Maybe not tablespoon. That sounds like a lot. Teaspoon. Must be a teaspoon of salt per.
You're not going to be carrying salt around with you, so
no.
That's a bit impractical.
Yeah. But I guess if you're able to stop somewhere and be like, I need salt and water, do you know what you
just take a beer with you? That'll do.
Do you know what you'd be like? You'd be like that guy out of Men in Black. I mean, he has sugar and water. That alien bug thing.
The worm, the big worm. Yeah.
Anyway, so it moves on then to the signs of heat exhaustion and heat stroke. So heat exhaustion is where the body continues to shunt blood away from the brain and muscles, and the symptoms are headaches, dizziness, nausea, momentary fainting, cramps, tiredness, weakness, profuse sweating, pale, clammy skin, approximately normal body temperature. Okay. The symptoms of heat stroke are victim incoherent, staring vacantly, blanking out or unresponsive, skin hot,
that's
red,
me,
dry.
24/7
That's why I giggled. That's why I laughed. You've always got heat stroke. Your skin is hot, red and dry, but there's no perspiration. Rapid pulse, body temperature elevated. Heat stroke is life-threatening.
But what can you do about it, though?
You call 911. Well, 999,
well, 999
depending where you are.
Yeah.
It says it's a medical emergency, so don't be bashful about calling for help.
Interesting. And the thing is, I mean, these kinds of temperatures that we had were life-threatening, without a doubt.
Yeah.
You didn't have to be outside for very long to start having heat stroke. So,
no.
I mean, I'm seeing a couple of you in the chat saying about how you were out on Monday and Tuesday, and I'm surprised, man. Fair play. Okay, yeah, I suppose when So, Alex, good to see you. How you doing? So they say I didn't take out my bike last week, but not sure if it's just me. But when riding in the heat isn't too bad. It's only when you hit the red lights, so only when you hit traffic lights.
And you're sitting duck then, aren't you?
I think to some extent that's true. And as well, you know, when you're stationary, you've got the heat from the bike coming up and all over your legs and stuff like that. So that can be really uncomfortable. But that's the thing, that the breeze around here wasn't giving us any respite at all. Even in the car, if you had our windows down all the way, the breeze coming into the car was not helping.
It was disgusting.
I couldn't imagine that it would help any more so being on a motorcycle those 2 days.
Yeah. That aircon saved me from having a massive
you
headache.
had to have aircon. You had to have the aircon on. That's the only way you were going to survive. 125 guy. I went out on Monday but stayed at home all day Tuesday because it was just too hot. Yeah. They say I had to wait till almost midnight to take the dog out for a walk. Yeah, I'm not surprised. we didn't take ours out at all over those 2 days.
No.
Just far too hot. Even at midnight for us.
I don't think he would have even wanted to go because he was just stretched out, wasn't he? Trying not to touch himself.
Yeah, Fidelity, you went out for a ride during the doomsday heat, and I love the clearer roads around Brecon Beacons.
So I imagine no one else was out.
Yeah, I wonder if it's a little bit cooler around those sorts of areas. I don't know. Interesting. But yeah, so yeah, it's I don't know. It's a tough one. I mean, the thing is, like if you have to get somewhere and your motorcycle is the only transportation you've got, you haven't got a choice, you know. So
Yeah.
I mean, there's not really much more to say about that. We're lucky that we have a choice of transport that we can use on a given day, but it's kind of frustrating, really, how when you're riding a motorcycle, it has to almost be perfect riding conditions, because otherwise it's just miserable. If it's raining too much, it's miserable. If it's too cold, it's miserable. If it's too hot, it's miserable. It's like you always have to be in that middle ground. It's so annoying, but I mean, that's the way it is, I suppose.
Yeah.
But in a country like the UK, you don't expect heat like this. So usually throughout the spring and summer, you get riding weather basically from April time all the way through until maybe late December, depending on how early the winter decides to kick in. But yeah, it's just a freak occurrence like earlier this week that, I don't know, just kind of gets you thinking a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah. So there's just 2 more points just to run through, which I think are the most interesting points here.
Go for it.
The first one follows on from the heat stroke. That, you right?
Yeah.
That heat stroke will affect your tummy, so you will have a bad experience both ends, apparently, to put it politely, for
That's
those who might be eating.
I get that.
Yeah. And the
that.
last one, it says keep your tummy tank full. So make sure you've got lots of water.
Yeah.
Make sure you got your electrolytes. Refill your sweat glands. At least a pint per hour. So
125 guy. The alien from Men in Black was a cockroach, not a worm.
I told you it was a bug.
You're right. Yeah,
I knew it was a bug.
It was a cockroach. Yeah. I haven't seen that movie in a while, so I can't remember.
It's when he goes after the exterminator, isn't it? He tries to destroy them or whatever. So
yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because the actor that plays that cockroach, the one that kind of disguises himself as somewhat human, is the same actor that's in Full Metal Jacket, that plays Private Pyle.
He's one of those actors where I never know his name, but I see him and I go, I know who you are.
Well, he also played the Kingpin
Kingpin
in Daredevil as well. So that was another interesting role for him. But definitely a cockroach, not a worm. Yeah, my bad. Right, so I mean, what can we take away from that then? That heat can be quite dangerous to a rider, but
if you're feeling unwell, pull over, get off your bike.
What about the bike itself? Does it say anything in there about the bike itself?
About the bike, it's all about the human.
Okay. Because I can imagine that if you have an older bike, one of those things you'll have to keep an eye on it are coolant temperatures. I mean, it's fairly normal, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but it's fairly normal for temperatures to be between 90 to 100 degrees Celsius for coolant temperature. Maybe even a bit more than that. I remember that my old CBR 600RR used to get up as high as 105, maybe even 110 on some really hot days. But apparently, according to forums, that was normal for that motorcycle, and I thought that was pretty... Well, I thought that was wrong, but apparently it was all right.
So...
But yeah, I mean, both my bikes at the moment sit comfortably between 90 to 96, 98. I imagine that in this heat, it probably would have bumped up to around about 100 degrees, but not a lot you can do about that, really. But if you are running low on coolant or what have you, then yeah, you might overheat your bike. So that's another thing to keep in mind. But I mean, I can imagine that things like brakes, you might suffer some brake fade a little bit as well in the heat. Because brakes obviously need to cool down, and if the air isn't there to cool them down, then you might have some brake trouble. I mean, I don't think that the temperature would have been hot enough for that over the past couple of days, but I mean, I imagine that could happen. Tire pressures could be affected as well. If you're like me and you run a little bit over spec, I tend to run a little bit over spec for my tire pressures, then yeah, depending on how close you are to the maximum load or the maximum pressure of the tyre, that could be another thing you might have to look out for.
There's absolutely nothing on here about what will happen if you ride your bike in extreme heat. It just says what will happen if you leave a bike outside in the sun.
Yeah. I mean, like, what about fuel? Fuel is fairly stable, isn't it, at pretty high temperatures, so I don't think fuel will have a problem. I don't know, do carburetors have issues? If you have an older bike that's carbureted, do you get any issues there? I mean, obviously, I haven't had a carbureted bike in about 15 years, so I don't know about how carburetors would feel in the heat, but because air density changes, doesn't it? So I don't know. Maybe you have to run a bit richer, maybe. Don't know. It's a tough one, but I think older bikes would suffer a bit more than newer bikes in heat. But yeah, I mean, generally they'll be all right, I think. Unless it is an older bike and you know it's probably missed a couple of services and all that, then that's probably when you might have some trouble. But for the most part, I think the bike will be all right.
But it was like you said earlier, when you're riding, the bike is naturally going to get hot, and the tanks do get hot, which is uncomfortable to ride when your legs are against anyway.
Yeah. I mean, that for me is the biggest issue throughout the summer is the blast that the intercooler gives you, and obviously it just comes out through the openings in the fairing, which is right where your legs are. Well, it depends on the bike. Some bikes are really good at deflecting the heat away from you, but most of the bikes I've owned, they just direct the heat directly at your thighs, directly at your legs. So that's always been the issue for me riding in the heat. It's always been that. Because the one part of your body that you can't really cool down is your legs. You know? I don't know. Like, I don't think any of my riding gear has ventilation holes for my legs. I do on my jacket.
Yeah, you have it across the back,
but
don't
not
you?
not on my leggings.
No,
so
I don't think. Anything I have is.
And again, once your legs get hot, there's nothing you can do to cool them down unless you start stripping off. So, I mean, that's why a lot of people get so tempted to ride in shorts. That's not something I do, but I mean, it's one of that's one of the things that a lot of people do. You see that a lot, people riding in shorts, because that's the only way they can keep their legs cool. Kind of stupid. Don't recommend it, but people do it anyway.
2019, there's a website you guys may be aware of called Visor Down, and they actually reported on a guy who, in a heat wave in Europe, went for a ride on his scooter in the nuddy. Nothing on whatsoever. There's a picture of it here. Completely naked.
I wish we could show you, but I think it's a bit explicit.
Yeah, but if you go to Visor Down, and it's called "This is not how to keep cool in Europe's heat wave," or even if you pull up their article, which is how to stay cool and safe while riding your motorcycle in hot conditions, it does link it there. We unfortunately can't risk showing that, but it does just say about how this guy decided that naked was the way forward. And I mean, he hasn't even got any pants on. He's that naked. So go and have a look at that if you like. But
so just I was just looking at in the chat to see what you were saying about how bikes could struggle in the heat, and I've just seen Mark with a comment here. And I totally sympathise with you here. Mark says, sorry to change subject, just stopped at the shop and a salesperson asked me to remove my helmet. I kindly refused, as you do only for her to say it's law and refuse to serve me. Complaint going in. Yeah, I get that as well. Whenever I go to a supermarket, whenever I go to the shops, they always ask me to take off my helmet. In some instances, they don't even bother. But see, I absolutely hate the fact that they insist on you taking your helmets off. And I don't know if you might not have ever seen this before, but do you remember there was a sign? We went to Morrison's. It was a Morrison's petrol station, I think, and there was a sign saying that motorcyclists were supposed to take off their helmets when fueling up. Yeah. What? That doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I totally sympathise with you, because that's one of those things that I've experienced before, and I've had arguments before with security and with staff, saying like, come on, look, it's an absolute pain trying to undo the clasps, trying to get the helmet off, put it back on again. It's just a nightmare. And I even said to them, look, I can give you my ID. If you want my ID, I'll give it to you, and then you can keep it till I go out the shop, so at least they know who I am. If they want to make sure I'm not stealing anything, but they they still thought, oh no, they don't care. But
during COVID, didn't you sometimes wear your helmet in over your mask? You didn't have to take it off then, did you? I remember once or twice.
Well, I mean, that's the thing I'd say to them during COVID. If I went to the shops on my bike, I'd say, and they said about me taking my helmet off, I say, but it acts like a mask. It covers. It doesn't, obviously, because I have my visor open. But it's just a way to try and get your own way, isn't it?
Yeah.
But no, it's just some nonsense. I try and say to convince them, but
it's really it's. Sorry, Mark's latest comment. It's really nice how everyone has kind of gone and it's really interesting that everyone's gone. Actually, this happened to us as well.
Yeah.
And I'm curious. Is it actually law? Is it law?
I don't think it is.
Should I Google?
I don't think it is law.
Mr. Google's coming up. You carry on talking.
No, I don't think so.
Is it illegal to wear?
Yeah. Fidelity. Yeah. Yeah. This has happened to me in quite a few places. In Tesco's, Morrison's, Asda. Basically, it depends on who you get at the front door. If the front door doesn't like you wearing a helmet, then they'll tell you about it. But that's basically, it depends, because I've been in more than one. I've been in the same shop more than once wearing my helmet, and one day they say to take it off, other days they don't. So I suppose it depends who's at the door.
So
yeah,
it's not the law. That jumped up little shop worker. It's the law. It's not. It is a per shop recommendation. Oh, it's a per shop thing.
Yeah.
They can decide. It's their shop, their rules. But there is absolutely no.
Well, no,
rules.
it's not their rules. They can. It's not, but it doesn't make it against the law. Basically,
no, that's what I'm saying.
just
it's not
they
illegal,
can refuse to serve you,
no,
but that's about
That's
it.
what I'm saying. It's not illegal, but each shop can decide whether they want you to take their helmet off or not.
Nonsense.
They're saying that for some people it's a CCTV thing, and that's whatever. But
no, that's nonsense as well. You're wearing a helmet which is probably brightly coloured. You're the only person in the whole shop wearing this damn helmet. They probably have CCTV of you riding away, so they probably got your reg number anyway. So honestly, no, nonsense. Anyway, right, back on topic. 125 guy. They say air-cooled engines would have struggled. Yes, I forgot I didn't mention air-cooled engines, so yeah, well done for pointing that out. Liquid-cooled engines should have been okay on shorter rides. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? It's how much can a liquid cooler take? Because if the temperatures are reaching 100 degrees or 110 degrees, that's got to be the limits of the coolant, right? It just start boiling.
Well, I was going to say, what happens to coolant? Does it start evaporating
in
intense heat?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where the sensors are either. Like, are the I'm assuming the sensors are before the fluid actually reaches the radiator, but yeah, it's a bit weird when you see a radiator or you see the sensor reading 90 to 100 degrees or over 100 degrees Celsius, because that's the boiling point of water, and that's what coolant is. It's just water, basically, with some antifreeze. So, the antifreeze, I imagine, would increase the boiling point by a little bit, but not by a huge amount. I wouldn't have thought.
Idea. This conversation is a little bit over my head.
It's an interesting one. I'd be curious to find that out, to be honest. Yeah, we'll have to do a bit of research on that. 125 guy, Mark, I had this once a few years ago. I already filled my tank and went to pay, and they told me to remove my helmet or they wouldn't serve me. See, that's ridiculous, because you've already got the fuel. You've already got the fuel in your bike. Yeah, absolutely stupid. At a petrol station, of all places, at a petrol station, they should be like, okay, right, this guy, he's like, I mean, think about it this way. If you're keeping your helmet on whilst going in to pay, you're getting out quicker. Otherwise, you're taking a spot that someone else could be using. If they're insisting on those rules, it's stupid.
If you had an open-faced helmet, I don't reckon they'd ask you to take it off. But it's the visor. Yeah. I'll go in wearing a colander on my head and see what they say. Can't make me take that off.
It's like, well, people wear hats and hoodies all the time. What, they're going to start telling people to stop wearing hoodies and hats?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. You see all the chavs around here all wearing their hoodies and their baseball caps and stuff, and no one says anything to them. But no, because you're wearing a helmet, because it's covering slightly more of your face, you got to take it off. Nonsense. Sorry. So I'm going off on one.
A little bit, but I'm just going to let you get it out.
Dopestyle Gaming, to be honest, I was fine in the heat wave, still extremely uncomfortable, but it hasn't really felt too different from the other 30 plus days. My bike was the one that died in the heat once again. Oh man. What happened? Let us know what happened. I think you said a little bit further down the fuel pump. Okay. Oh mate. Sorry to hear that. Sorry to that. I mean, fuel pump is a fairly easy fix, though. I think so. Hopefully, it won't cost too much to get that fixed.
It's already been done.
Oh, right.
Yeah, read the whole sentence.
Okay. All right. Sorry, I'm like skim reading. Hardcore's good to see you, mate. How you doing? 125 guy. I told them I'm happy to pay, but not removing my helmet. Yeah. I'd say the same thing. Well, say to them this. Say, well, I've already got the fuel, so what? You're telling me I don't have to pay? And just go.
Yeah.
Just be on your way.
Thanks for the freebie.
Mark, I stupidly left my bike out, but put it under a cover. Chain oiler overheated under the seat and poured out to the breather tube. Okay, that's interesting. Is that? I'm assuming that's a mod. The chain oiler. I used to have an old work colleague that had installed a chain oiler that has like a reservoir, and it would like drip oil onto the chain once every hour or something. I don't really know exactly how it worked, but
once an hour is quite a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe might have been, I don't know, once every 10 miles or so. Just like a little drop, on the chain just to keep it lubed. Yeah. Yeah, I suppose that's a bit of a pain though. That if that overheats and it goes onto other bits and pieces, you're in a bit of trouble. You're gonna have trouble. Yeah. I mean, and I can only imagine as well, like if it's over the top of your tire, or your brakes, that's bad.
When oil heats up, it becomes thinner, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So it spreads further.
Yeah. Just
thinking of what it's like when I fry my eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it becomes a lubricant, I guess, but a thinner lubricant.
Yeah.
Do you know things?
Yeah. Let's see what else you guys been up to. Oh yeah, okay. So so Dopestyle Gaming fuel pump was dealt the final blow in the heat, and I had to get it replaced. More money gone, but at least I'm not going to get stranded again, right? Question mark.
In theory.
Yeah, in theory. I mean,
in practice though, it's a different thing, isn't it?
That's the thing. I mean, it's so right. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes it depends on the bike. Some days you have a motorcycle that just always has problems, and it's like you fix one thing and then something else comes up, and then you get other bikes where you don't have to do any fixes to it whatsoever. It just runs. So I mean, yeah.
Luck of the draw.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how much maintenance had been done on your bike, mate, in the past. I'm assuming it's not new. So yeah, I'd be curious to know how much what the service history is of that, just in case. You might find a few more gremlins there. But I mean, it will get to a point where you keep fixing these problems that the bike will get better. Especially if it's from a reputable brand anyway. You fix some issues and the bike will run you forever.
As long as it's
your ownership anyway.
And this is not against anyone. This is just a general thing. As long as you're fixing it properly and you're not just putting duct tape on top of duct tape. We've been watching a lot of Gold Rush, and that's what they've been talking about. So it's all in my head. Yeah. Welding on top of welding, it doesn't help. But if it's being fixed,
I'm
learning a lot from Gold Rush. I'm picking up all these technical things. I don't know what I'm talking about, but so as long as it's being fixed properly and safely, I guess, then hopefully that should resolve the issue.
Yeah. Yeah. Mark, mate, yeah, that's what I'm saying. He says, I'm actually going to go back down with the car and a baseball cap and wearing a snood, COVID protection, and to see if she asks me to remove that. Yeah. I bet you they won't. I bet you they won't say a thing. Yeah, exactly. Lone Wolf UK, good to see you, mate. How you doing? Yeah, you're doing all right, aren't you, wifey? From dropping your bike. Yeah, you're doing all right.
It was inevitable. At least I wasn't going too fast, and it wasn't a really big bike, and I wasn't on my own. So silver lining on all of these things. Still smiling.
Yeah, you just gotta get up and carry on with it. Yeah.
Otherwise, you just get scared.
Pick yourself up.
Yeah, it just makes it worse.
Yeah. So it's interesting what you guys are saying there in the chat, and yeah, I think there's a consensus there regarding the heat, but yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? It's just too hot for riding. Well, those couple of days were anyway.
Yeah, that was a little bit too much.
I mean, I don't know what the weather forecast is now. I'm just going to quickly check.
23, 24, I think is our top. Maybe 25. It's mostly overcast as well.
Yeah, so sticking between 20 and 25 degrees around here until Thursday next week, so the next 7 days. So yeah, not too bad. Definitely a lot of riding to be done during that time.
It's more manageable that weather though, isn't it?
I mean, they're saying that there's going to be some showers and things, but from Monday onwards, apparently there's the rain's gone. So
that rain lasted all of 5 minutes, and it's dried up already. Like, it wasn't even worth getting excited about.
Yeah,
I don't think it's even watered the vegetables, if I'm honest.
No, probably not. Hardcores, I had a GSX F 1989, had holes in the exhaust, but I only paid £600 for it. Did over £600 in repairs, but managed to get what I paid for it when I chopped it in for a car. So that's good then. So yeah, you clearly increase the value of it, which is kind of what you want, really, especially when you're buying an older bike. Yeah, if you just spend a little bit of money doing it up, yeah, it'd probably be worth a hell of a lot more than what you paid for it. Yeah, that's one of those projects that I want to do at some point. Even though I've got like no mechanics experience or very little mechanics experience, is to buy a rundown bike, clean it up, and see if I can make a profit. Try and do like wheeler dealers, but for motorcycles. See if that would work, but I don't know. I'm too scared of messing it up, and then it'll be worth less than what I paid for it.
I think it's a bit like a pancake, isn't it? The first one's not going to go quite the way you expect it to, but it can only go better from there. Yeah,
I think it depends on the bike that you buy initially. You know, if it's work that you know you can do, that you know you can do right, then it'll be okay. But if you start finding things that you're like, bloody hell, I'm not going to be able to fix this, then you might have some problems.
It depends on the work that needs to be done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in that case, though, you usually go and get it done by a professional, but obviously they'll charge you for it, and you might not make any money.
It's not the point, is it, of getting a bike and then, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
So. Yeah,
in the end, the bike was in decent working order. Yep, that's all you can ask for, really. Yep, especially from an oldie. Yeah. Lone Wolf UK, the day before yesterday, I found the roads were too hot and seemed to have more traction, sticky, almost too much. That's interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that. Especially with road tyres, they're usually harder tyres, so I wouldn't have thought they'd be too sticky on the roads. But I mean, if that is the case, then your tyres are just going to wear out like nothing. The more sticky they are, the more they'll wear out. So yeah, that's interesting. I was planning on actually going and riding and actually doing a video about riding in the heat and stuff, but I just couldn't do it. I was already suffering indoors at home with fans blowing in my face, so yeah, I was always going to struggle if I tried.
And if you're anything like me,
it wouldn't have been a good video.
But getting ready to go out as well, you get warmer, getting all your gear on, and waiting while you're getting your camera set up and making sure that
that's true.
Everything's recording and your dictaphone's doing what it should do. And it's not just getting out and going, is it? Like you do in a car. There's so much preparation to it.
Yeah. Oh, Dope Star Gaming. I don't have an issue with problems. Bit of a lie, I very much do. But issue is that these are all on my first bike. It's honestly a lot more demoralizing than I thought. Yeah, mate. I've been there. It's one of those things that you've got to work through. I mean, as you start to get a bit older and as you start to earn a bit more money and what have you, then you're able to actually buy yourself a bike that will run you fine. You won't have to worry about it. I mean, I'm a lazy guy naturally. I don't like doing maintenance on my bikes every 5 minutes. Some people love wrenching on their bikes. I'm not one of those people. So I totally understand where you're coming from. I mean, when a bike has an issue and I don't know what it is, I get very, very frustrated with it. And yeah, it is demoralizing because riding your bike is the fun part, not working on it. Well, for a lot of people anyway. So for most people. So yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from, mate. But the hopefully the next bike that you get will do a lot better for you.
The only way is up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's the thing as well, is if you're feeling like it's getting too much, sell it on. Don't bother keeping it. Just sell it on. Go ahead and find yourself another bike instead. And you never know, it might be a hell of a lot better than what you currently have, and at least in terms of reliability and all that. So sometimes it's better just to cut your losses in that regard. Especially if every other week you're having to do something to it because it left you on the side of the road. That's not what you want. You don't want a motorcycle that leaves you on the side of the road. I've been there and it's not fun. I hate it. Absolutely hate it.
You're being stared at so intently right now.
All right, bud. Mark Cloudy, 16, 17 here, all next week. Perfect. Yeah, that's my kind of weather. I love it.
Should we go through some of the tips that they have?
Yes.
To keep cool?
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we haven't had another part to this show that I've completely forgotten about.
Yeah, you talk so much.
Yep. So we've got some tips and tricks for keeping yourselves cool, at least according to an article that the wifey has found, which we are going to dissect and maybe have a bit of a critical eye towards.
Right.
We'll see.
So the first one, fairly straightforward, fairly obvious. Stay hydrated. But I mean, that does mean you're going to have to stop and plan to stop. So that will depend on, obviously, what your route is like, what you're planning to do. It does suggest that you have a hydration backpack, which includes a water bladder and a drinking tube. That can be used on the go with a full face helmet.
I hate those things.
The one they've recommended is only $100, guys.
I hate those things. I hate them with a passion. They are absolutely useless. They don't keep the fluid cool because they're strapped to you, so it's always warm. Nah, nasty stuff. Don't like it. Don't like those bladders. Nah, no good.
The next thing it says is avoid alcohol and caffeine. Alcohol because it accelerates dehydration, and caffeine because it says it's debatable whether it does contribute to dehydration, but obviously water is the way forward. So,
sorry, no, the dog just hit something on the keyboard down here.
Are we still live?
Yeah, we're good.
So yeah, avoid alcohol and caffeine. I mean, that's alcohol, well, duh. But caffeine, I never really thought about that. But water, when I'm warm, I don't think, I'm going to have a nice hot cup of coffee.
See, caffeine I kind of disagree with because caffeine is one of those things that keeps you alert. You know, it's a stimulant. So usually the things that have caffeine are usually like fizzy drinks. But if it's a cup of coffee that you've had in the morning before you go out for a ride and stuff, I think that's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to have any problems there.
Okay. So moving on, it says wear wicking base layers. So this is saying that wearing base layers, synthetic base layers, takes moisture away from the skin, which increases the efficiency of evaporative cooling. So it's now saying
but then it's only going to get trapped inside your jacket.
Yeah, unless you only wear that, but it looks like it goes underneath a t-shirt. So I wouldn't want to look like Captain America going out one of those.
It doesn't have any armor anyway.
No.
It's not going to protect you.
It's the sort of thing you'd wear running,
yeah.
Or the sort of thing you'd wear if you're in the gym, making it look like you know what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that, to be honest with you.
The next one, wear full coverage riding apparel. So it's saying here, when the summer heats up, many of us love to wear shorts, t-shirts and flip-flops. None of these make sense on a motorbike, unless you wear shorts and a t-shirt under your armoured riding apparel, carrying flip-flops in your saddlebag so you can kick off your riding boots during breaks. So they subscribe to all the gear all the time, because obviously no one plans to crash. But they're saying that full-length glove, jackets and pants, trousers, over the ankle boots and full-faced helmets also protect the skin from ravages of sunburn and dehydration. But you need to make sure it's well ventilated or has large mesh panels to promote airflow, especially in lighter colours. They're saying that this one that they're recommended, and I don't know how much it is, it doesn't say, has ballistic mesh panels that can be worn over street clothes or base layers, but has a good abrasion resistance and approved armour. It just seems a bit of an oxymoron. It's really hot. Let me put on a full piece of kit.
What site is this?
This is Rider Magazine.
Rider Magazine. Okay. Interesting. I don't know how much of that advice I'd follow, personally.
There's more.
There's more?
Yeah.
Oh, bloody hell. Okay.
Wear an evaporative cooling vest. I don't know how you're meant to wear it. Oh, it's meant to go under your jacket to keep you from overheating. So add more layers to stay cooler.
That doesn't make a lot of sense to me because you add more layers, it insulates.
Yeah.
It insulates you more.
So it says, I mean, it's only $30. Instead of soaking the cooling vest, you fill it with water, and its dry evaporative cooling uses some sort of technology. So it looks like you fill it up and it keeps you cool, but that's just going to heat up, isn't it, as you get warmer?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, it would be interesting one day to actually go on Amazon, shop through all these things and actually try them out.
Yeah.
I think that might be something we can do, but we have to wait for the right time, I suppose.
Yeah. The next one is wear an evaporative cooling neck wrap. Now, I have one of these because I get so hot on the bike. It's something my mum and dad suggested, and I've got it. And all you do is you just get it wet, and then I wear it under my helmet. It keeps my neck nice and cool.
You see, that makes sense.
It does make sense.
Because you're adding moisture to your skin, which should keep it nice and cool.
And especially if my hair's this way, it stops my neck from getting sunburnt.
Yeah.
So that
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's not quite the way that this one is. This is like looks a bit like a martial arts belt. It's like that style of shape. But mine's more of a flannel, like more of a towel. And I think they're a great idea. And shout out to mum and dad for recommending that because they're only about £10 and they come in a range of colours. Not that we're sponsored by them at all. But yeah, and it is useful.
Yeah, Dope Star Gaming, I don't know if I agree with most of it either. They say that his website sounds like it was made by someone that doesn't ride. Probably. I wonder how many of these things they tested. That's what I want to do. I want to test it. I want to test this stuff and actually, give a recommendation to all the things that actually work and give a to all the things that don't.
Now, the next four... If you haven't got common sense, then you shouldn't be riding anyway.
So we're not exactly going to get any magical solutions, any life hacks, any riding hacks, are we? In this list.
The next one. Hang on to your seats, guys. Avoid riding during the hottest part of the day. Well, duh. Obviously. I'm an heck. Sorry. And just when you're going to avoid those hot points, make sure you take frequent rest breaks, like we've said. And the next one, which is really ironic for this website, is use common sense. Well, yeah, obviously. It's saying if you get dizzy or you get a headache, stop.
See, but common sense isn't so common.
It's not a guarantee you're going to have it, is it?
That's the thing. Yeah, there's some people that don't have this so-called common sense, this thing in the ether. That seems to kind of exist, kind of doesn't.
For some people, it's an absolute myth, common sense. It's something of legend.
Yeah.
That's just evaporated through the family line.
Legendary sense.
Yeah.
Not common sense, mythical sense.
That's it. Point 10, before I just stop looking at these ridiculous points, is take a day off. Well, we know that. Everyone here on the call knows whether they want to do this or not.
Hang on, what? Oh, we've got an advert. Okay, interesting.
So we're still going?
Yeah, as far as I'm aware,
I'm
seeing it on here.
Oh, they must do. It must come round. Yeah. Okay.
So I'm monitoring the health of the stream, but Wifey's actually got a copy of the stream as if how you guys would be watching it, and yeah, it's just got an advert come through. So I just want to make sure you guys can actually still see us because I didn't do anything. There's one thing that we want to do more of because we have an option to put in ads at parts at parts that we would like to, natural breaks during the shows and stuff. So it's one thing that I meant to do today but completely forgot. But
I'm getting really warm in here.
Yeah, I am as well.
I don't know if it's because we're talking about heat and it's like the placebo effect, but maybe. I feel quite warm.
Yeah. All right. So that list wasn't that
was ridiculous.
that inspiring,
but
really,
do you know what
was
the really
it?
funny thing is? Every single one is take it easy. You know, well, some of it's saying get some vented riding kit. That makes sense. That's obvious, though, right?
But it's only going to help you so much. It's even in certain weather, it's not going to do a thing.
It's an interesting one.
Oh yeah.
Wear your black gear. We've all been told that black absorbs heat, make it the worst colour to wear, but it's actually a common misconception. Physics tells us that absorbing actually keeps you cooler, whereas white reflects the heat back, and whilst it may certainly be hot in the sun out there, remember your body temperature is also pretty high, and that's much closer to the material. Black should be your choice, apparently, if you have the option.
I disagree with that as well.
That's weird, isn't
We
it?
have a black car. My Audi TT is black, and it gets hotter than any of the other cars that we go into.
Sounds like
Your Honda Civic is red, and your car is cooler than mine.
The way you said that, any of the other cars, we don't have that many other cars. We haven't just got a garage of cars.
No, but like if I get into someone else's car that's been sat in a
the
car
same
park
place,
or something, then it's nowhere near as hot as it is in my car. So I don't know if I agree with that either, to be honest with you. There's a reason why people put along their windshields the reflective thing, because it keeps heat. It reflects heat away from the car.
It's an interesting one, isn't it?
So I don't know about that. Again, that would be an interesting thing to test. I'll wear all black. And instead of wearing my usual gear, I'll try wearing all black and see if it helps.
I have all black.
Yeah.
I have black trousers and a black jacket, so I could always do it. I probably won't enjoy it, but I could do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, all the same information is there. Just enjoy the view, take breaks.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure about much of that, but that's the thing. I think it's one of those questions that's very like. Everyone wants the answer for it, but no one has a good answer for it. And, well, maybe that's something we can have a look at, is see if we can actually find something that actually helps people riding in the heat.
A Mythbusters episode.
Yeah.
Where we take all of this information, this helpful stuff, and we do it.
Yeah.
And then at the end, when we're red-faced and sweating and really, really attractive, we can be like, this is true or false.
Yeah, myth busting. Yeah, I suppose that's something we could definitely look at.
Yeah, but there's so much out there. They're saying this will enhance your ride, and this is really good, and X, Y, Z. But yeah, it's interesting. Right, let's see what you guys think about that in the chat. I caught a few messages, but I haven't seen all of them. Let's have a look here. Okay. Yeah, hardcores. They say clue yourself up on the likes of what to look out for second-hand bikes. We do have a video on that already. What to look out for when you're buying a motorcycle, a used motorcycle. It does go through quite a lot of bits and pieces. But the issue that you find a lot of times with general videos like that is that it doesn't necessarily apply to all motorcycles. If you have a look on forums and things of the bike that you're looking to buy, my best advice is, if you find a used bike that's getting up there with mileage, getting up there with age, have a look on forums to see what issues owners have had with these bikes, and then you know what to look out for then, especially when it comes to strange noises coming from the clutch pack or from the engine itself or something like that, or from the exhaust. It gives you a bit of a clue. The obvious things like broken fork seals and things like that applies to all motorcycles, but there are certain issues on certain bikes that a video like what we did isn't going to help you. So yeah, definitely do your research in the forums. The forums are some of the best places to look for information like that on used bikes. So definitely make use of that. If you want to know exactly what to look out for that exact motorcycle that you're looking to buy, then that should be the best place of information. But Fidelity question: do we have do we set up a Discord server to share adventures, troubleshoot problems, and bants? That's something I want to do, mate. It is the question that I've kind of had the fight I've been having in my brain is whether or not it should be something that, because I don't want loads and loads of random people just joining the server. I prefer it to be people that are
what's the word?
Invested? I don't know.
Well, kind of invested, but also like people that we know aren't going to take the mic. They're not going to fill it up with spam and all that. I mean, obviously, as the server admin, we'd be able to change things and stuff, and we'd be able to boot people off. But
yeah,
because one thing that we've been looking at over the past couple of months is having memberships and things like that, and having a Discord server for members is one of those things that we were thinking about doing. So I don't know if that's something you guys want, then we can definitely look into that. The thing is, I wanted to do more for members as well. If we had memberships, I want to have more than just the Discord server. We could have some other stuff as well, some other benefits for our viewers.
Something I'd love to do, and I'm now going to pick on the spot because we're in front of 9 people currently. If we did something like that, it'd be really cool every now and then to do like a Q&A. So people can ask us questions. Anything that you want, whether we answer it or not is a different matter. But you can ask us questions like about us, about bikes, about anything you want to know about. And then depending how personal they get, depends whether you answer them. But I thought it'd be quite cool for those who do join and are part of that server. And it takes it off YouTube, then it has its own separate house, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. That's certainly something we could do as well. We could have maybe, I don't know, once a month or something, Q&A sessions, things like that. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, we can do that as well. So yeah, if that's something you guys want to see, then we'll try and make that happen. So all you lot are talking about a video on 125's guys' channels. Okay, I'll have to have a look at that. That's some ice cream, eh? Okay.
Got our attention already.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have a look at that ice cream. I think you guys all talking about the ice cream, especially in this bloody heat as well.
And what have I been talking about all day that I want?
Yeah,
ice cream.
Me too. Along with UK at Goblin Rides. You know what these live streams remind me of? Top Gears and. Here's the news and Conversation Street.
I read it as Coronation Street first and I had to reread that.
Conversation Street. That was from Grand Tour, wasn't it? Yeah.
I love those 3.
I always preferred Top Gear over Grand Tour. I thought Grand Tour had some good moments, but I don't know. Top Gear was more consistently good for me.
I went through a phase, didn't I, of every 6 months watching all the specials.
Yeah. The specials are so good.
They're so good.
And that's another thing that I want to do as well is do like a Top Gear-esque special where, I don't know, maybe I can get 3 people. We'll each have a budget of 500 quid or something like that. We have to try and buy ourselves a motorcycle. We have to try and get from one point to the next in the UK and see how it goes. That's one of those kind of projects that I've got going on or I'm thinking about for the future is that kind of show, because I think that style I think would work really, really well, but for motorcycles, because there are a few channels out there where I've seen similar kinds of things like that for motorcycles, but I don't think they've had that same kind of comedic factor. They haven't been that funny. They've been good. They've been entertaining.
They can be quite serious.
But it's not quite. It's not like Top Gear funny, and that's what I kind of want to look for.
Who do you think you are? Do you most like out of those 3?
I don't know, to be honest.
That's a boring answer.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Do you guys still watch Top Gear now with who I don't even know who the new presenters are anymore.
I don't know if Matt LeBlanc is still in it.
I think Matt LeBlanc left, didn't he, a couple of years ago or last
Freddie
year?
Freddie Flintoff was in it, wasn't he?
Was he? Was Freddie Flintoff in it? I can't remember.
That's who the guys I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
And then, oh my gosh, Chris Evans, but he was weird in that. Anyway.
Yeah. Who was the other guy? Chris. He's actually a race driver. Or an ex-driver. An ex-race car driver. I can't remember. Chris something. I mean, that just shows you how long I've not been following Top Gear. It's been at least 5 years since I've been following Top Gear. So.
But for me, Top Gear's always been Hammond, Clarkson and May.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it wasn't the same for me.
Yeah.
I wasn't ever going to watch it when they changed, to be honest with you.
Okay, let's see.
Chris Harris,
that was it. Chris
Freddie
Harris.
Flintoff and suspense. Don't know. Sorry.
Lone Wolf UK, you should start a Twitch stream in the Just Chatting section. I'd subscribe. Yeah, Twitch is something that we'd also like to get onto as well. I don't know if we do anything different on Twitch. I don't know.
I've never seen the Twitch platform to really be able to comment.
It might be an opportunity for us to do something different on Twitch. I don't know. But yeah, something that we've thought about as well.
Isn't that where people do stream their games and stuff that they're playing?
Usually, yeah. But I mean, you can live stream anything on Twitch. Well, yeah, within reason. But something like this, a live show, we can stream on Twitch at the same time as YouTube and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it might be an opportunity for us to do something different as well on Twitch. I don't know. We'll see. Let's have a look here.
I love that. Paddy something. No one knows who he is. His name is Paddy.
Paddy something.
Paddy something.
Gotcha. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but you're a new person.
Go for Chuck's Gaming and stuff.
Go for Chuck's Gaming and stuff.
That's what I'm
yeah,
going
good
with.
to see you.
I'm really sorry if that's wrong.
I live in Tampa, Florida. If we cry about the heat, we'd never ride. Yeah, I can imagine. Especially in Florida because, yeah, you've got all the swamps and things, haven't you? So I can imagine that's quite humid. Very similar heat to probably what we've been having over here. So, yeah, I can imagine that. Yeah.
Paddy McGuinness. Paddy McGuinness.
Paddy... Is it Paddy McGuinness at the moment? Oh my god, we'll have to check that out. Paddy McGuinness, bloody hell.
Isn't he the guy who did Take Me Out?
Take Me Out, yeah.
What's that phrase that you used on that?
No lackey, no laddie. Bloody hell. That's sad, I remember that.
Fidelity's named our patron name for us.
All right.
We're a patron. Can you see us at the bottom?
Nice, very nice. Okay, so or Patreon, yeah. I don't know. We'll have a look at Patreon. Yeah, I don't know. I won't do both. It'll either be Patreon or it will be the YouTube membership. I don't know. We'll see. But
need a bit of research into them, what they can really
offer.
And
we also need to do some thinking about kind of how much we want the memberships to be, because I know that a lot of YouTube channels have different tiers of memberships and things, so that's another thing we'll have to think about. And yeah, no, I don't want it to be expensive either.
Takes away from what it's actually about then, doesn't it?
Yeah, so. I mean, the thing is, I don't know if I even agree kind of morally or philosophically with the whole memberships thing, because as far as I'm concerned, getting the income from the ad revenue was the only, and maybe sponsorships was the only thing that really I had in mind. When we started this, I never really thought about Patreon or memberships or anything.
We've never.
'Cause I don't know if I agree with it personally. I don't know.
At no point during this whole adventure, this whole journey, have we even discussed those.
No, it's been in the back of my mind.
Not in the way where we've gone, oh, let's make a profit here. Like that's never come out for us, has it?
No, because I don't want to make a profit off the viewers. I want the advertisers to pay us, not the
money.
viewers. You know, I mean, I don't. Yeah. I mean, that's a moral argument, I suppose, but I don't know. We'll see. But yeah. The Discord server is definitely something that I think we have to do sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Because it gives all you lot an opportunity to kind of chat and what have you outside of the live show, which I think would be really good. So yeah, we'll have a think about how we're going to do that. But yeah, absolutely. But I mean, I think it's getting really warm in our little studio here, so I think we're going to sign off for the evening. But yeah, thank you ever so much for watching. As always, you guys are absolutely amazing in the chat. Absolutely love you. And it's good to see a few new faces in there as well. That's absolutely awesome. Okay, Fidelity, Goblin Rise, members only and actual meetups. Yeah, that's something that we could do as well. Yeah, if we actually had something like a membership style thing, yeah, we could organise some group rides and what have you. Yeah, that could be an option as well. Depends on how far everyone lives away from each other, you know. So we'd have to find somewhere, yeah, kind of like in between where all of us are, to make that work. But yeah, again, that's something that I've been wanting to do for a while as well. But But no, Mark, mate. No,
don't apologise.
Don't apologise about that, because that's
what we're here for. We love the diversion. Like,
but that's a really juicy topic right there for me, because I've experienced the exact same thing as you.
Like you say, it's like when I mentioned me dropping my bike. We said it because we knew that everyone would be sympathetic and say exactly the same thing, like it's okay, like it's happened, you're fine.
That's right.
So the main thing for us is that it's like a way to kind of be cathartic and be like, oh, this is so annoying. But everyone goes, we've been there, we know how annoying that is. So please never apologise for bringing up something else for us to discuss. So.
Yeah, no, I mean that's what this platform is for, is for you guys to reach out to us, and if you have questions or you have certain things you want to get off your chest, or you want to know our thoughts on something, this is what it's for. So don't ever be afraid to do that. But anyway, I think we're going to leave it for tonight. I think I'm sweating. I could feel the sweat dripping inside my t-shirt.
I'm not that bad.
So
but the lights are pointing at you more, I think.
Really, and I got dog hair all over me as well.
You're in an absolute state.
I am in an absolute state. I think I have to have a shower after this. But
I think before we do sign off, we had a video released yesterday, a reaction video. Do check that out. I edited that one. I'm very proud of that. So do check it out. Let us know what you think of the reactions, because I enjoy making them and I enjoy editing them. But if you guys aren't really getting the benefit, let us know, because we want this to be right for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you've got anything you want us to talk about, just drop us an email.
Yeah,
drop us a direct message on
we
Instagram.
still need to. We're waiting on 125 guy, because I know you've got your video as well that we need to react to, which we are going to get around to doing.
Yeah.
But it's just time's limited at the moment. Over July and August, got a lot of stuff going on. So
a lot of exciting things happening.
We will get around to it.
Yeah.
So I look forward to seeing that.
Yeah.
Well, or maybe not. I don't know. What's the right way to say that?
We look forward to sharing the experience of our reaction with you.
Yeah.
But not necessarily the content, because we don't know what's going to happen.
Well, I think I know what's going to happen, and I'm not looking forward to seeing that. But
Lone Wolf has said goblin ...
Go on then, Lone Wolf. Is there something you want to say, mate, before we sign off? Oh, come to the lakes. We have cookies and
Kendall
mint cake. Sounds absolutely heavenly.
I love a good cookie.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I think that's it for today. Unless you have anything more you'd like to mention, wifey.
Nope.
But looks like there's some really good information as well coming from Go for Chucks as well. So some really really good information in there about carbs, pressure, tire pressures and things. Yeah, absolutely. So
comment on your previous video.
Thank you ever so much for that.
Got itchy nose.
Yeah, that's another thing. Actually, I haven't looked at the comments much this week on the videos. I need to catch up with that as well. I need to catch up with the message on Instagram as well. So
we're a little bit behind, you might say.
I got a lot of stuff to catch up on. So I will get around to it.
We appreciate every interaction you guys have with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, don't think we're ignoring you.
Yeah, we're really not.
No, I like to read every single comment, every single message, and if I can, try and get back to everyone as well. So it's all just time dependent, really.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. As the channel grows, we get more and more on that interaction, and sometimes things just slip through the nets. So you're gonna have to bear with us on that, unfortunately. But anyway, we will get there. We will get there. Yeah. Anyway, thank you ever so much for watching today's show. You guys are absolutely awesome. We got a release tomorrow. We do have a release plan tomorrow. Hopefully that all works out okay, but because that's been a bit last minute, that one as well. So hopefully that should all go to plan. But so hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. If not, have a good weekend. And the wife and I will catch you all next week. So have a good weekend, guys. Hopefully it's nice and cool as well for you to actually go out and ride and actually enjoy your ride. Hopefully we can kind of get back to a more normal life.
Way of living.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But ride safe.
Yeah, ride safe. And we'll catch you all next week. Have a good one, guys. Take care.
Bye. Goodness me.
Goodness you.
Sauna in here.
He's really
I think it's
warm.
those lights though. They're so bright.
I don't know. The studio seems to get hotter than the rest of the house does.
We didn't open the window today.
Yeah,
That might be
but-
why.
Well, I got the door open ever so slightly, and there's cool air coming in here. But
Can't
gosh,
feel nothing over here.
nightmare.